Hello students, myself Falguni Solanki. Welcome to our channel. In our previous part, we have seen that Vistas lesson number 4, the enemy, how Dr. Sadao and his wife Hannah got a prisoner. Actually, we can say that American prisoner, as they belong to Japan. It's a time of Second World War, and both countries were enemy that time. So Sadao and his wife were confused. They should help that prisoner or not. But finally, Sadao decided that as a doctor, he should save that man. And for that, they decided to take him inside. They put the prisoner inside, especially in Sadao's father's bedroom, and they decided to also inform servants because they are afraid that if the servants would inform the police, then they will be in danger. Let's see what happened then. The master ought not to heal the wound of this white man, he said bluntly to Hannah. The white man ought to die. First he was shot, then the sea caught him and wounded him with her rocks. If the master healed what the gun did and what the sea did, they will take revenge on us. So here the servants informed that bluntly and in a straightforward manner that the gardener was, and the servants were completely shocked, and he straightforwardly said to Hannah, he said that Sadao must not treat the injured white man. Why? Because he reasoned that the man was destined to die. Firstly, he was shot, then secondly, the rocks of the sea wounded him. If Sadao healed the wounds given by the gun and the sea, then gun and sea both treat them badly or took revenge from them. Gun yani ki here the policeman army, the gun represent the Japanese army and the sea represent the country of Japan. If they treated the enemy, they would be punished by the country. Now I will tell him what you say, Hannah replied courteously, but she herself was also frightened, although she was not suspicious as the old man was. Could it ever be well to help an enemy? Nevertheless, she told Yumi to fetch the hot water and bring it to the room where the white man was. Here, Hina said courteously, yani ki politely, and superstitious yani ki irrational belief, and that's why Hina politely said to the gardener that she would pass his message to Sadao, and she was frightened though not irrational behave like the old man, and she thought that helping an enemy could never be good for them. Still, she asked Yuri to get hot water into the room where the injured man was kept, because Hannah thought that doesn't matter. He was a prisoner, he was an enemy for them, but the real thing is that, and the first important thing, the person, the prisoner is a human, and as a second human, they should help that injured one. She went ahead and slid back the partitions. Sadao was not yet there. Yumi, following, put down her wooden bucket. Then she went over to the white man. When she saw him, her thick lips folded themselves into stubbornness. I have never washed a white man, she said, and I will not wash so dirty now. Stubbornness yani ki firm determination. Hannah went inside first and moved the partitions to one side, and he found that Sadao wasn't there. Yumi followed her and kept the wooden bucket on the floor, and she went towards the white man. And Yumi said by her thick lips folded, and the expression on her face indicated her determination. She said firmly, that Yumi, यानी कि Yumi had never was an American man and that she would never was one who was as dirty as the injured man. Now, Hannah cried at her severely, "You will do what your master commands you." There was so fierce a look of resistance upon Yumi's round, dull face, and Hannah felt unreasonably afraid. After all, if the servants should report something that was not as it happened. So Hina reacted to Yumi's refusal and she screamed at her that she was supposed to follow her master's order. Here the word is fiercely यानी कि dangerous and resistance यानी कि refusal to accept something. So Hannah thought that Yumi resisted strongly and her dull face had a dangerous look of protest which scared Hannah. Because Hannah thought that if she the servants inform or report the police or army men about their action, then they could be into troubles. Very well, she said with dignity. You understand, we only want to bring him to his senses so that we can turn him over as a prisoner. I will have nothing to do with it, Yumi said. I am a poor person and it is not my business. So Yumi's that Hannah said very politely. Dignity yani ki respectfully, and she changed her expression and voice because right now they need their servants and they also need their servants side. There is no, they can could not create any atmosphere of protest. So she said very well, and she explained to Yumi that they intended to bring the unconscious man into his senses, and then they would hand him over as a prisoner. Yumi said that she was not concerned about their plans. She added that she was a completely a poor person and it was none of her business. If the army caught them, then it will be a more trouble for Yumi like person. Then please, Hannah said gently, return to your own work. At once Yumi left the room, but this left Hannah with the white man alone. She might have been too afraid to stay had not her anger at Yumi's stubbornness now sustained her. Stupid Yumi, she muttered fiercely. It is this anything but a man, and a wounded, helpless man. So, Hannah said to Yumi that then she should return to her work. And Yumi left the room at once, and Hannah was again left alone with that white man. And she was afraid that, after all, that person was enemy for them. But here, anger on Yumi's firm determination made her stay in the room because she wanted to prove that, okay, whatever we are doing is right. Hannah said with anger that Yumi was a stupid person and she said that it was just an injured man, so there is no need to worry about him. In the conviction of her own superiority, she bent impulsively and untied the knot rugs that kept the white man covered. When she had his breast bare, she dipped the small clean towel that Yumi had brought into the steaming hot water and washed his face carefully. The man's skin, though rough with exposure, was of a fine texture and must have been very blonde when he was a child. So conviction यानी कि here the firm determination, firm belief, impulsive means to do something suddenly without thinking, and rugs it means the bucket blonde of light color. So right now Hannah was so full of anger and that at the refusal by the maid. How can he say no to her master? You mean that without thinking she opened the blanket in which the man was injured. His chest was bare and Hannah took a small clean towel, dipped it in the steaming hot water and washed his face, which towel was bought by Yumi. The man's skin was rough due to being exposed to the sun, but it had a good texture and he must have been a very fair as a child when Hannah thought when she was that prisoner's face. While she was thinking these thoughts, though not really liking the man better now that he was so longer a child, she kept washing him until his upper body was quite clean. But she dared not turn him over where was Sadao. Now her anger was ebbing and she was anxious again, and she rose, whipping her hands on the wrong towel. Then, lest of the man be chilled, she put on quilt over him. Sadao, she called softly. He had been about to come in when she called. His hand had been on the door, and now he opened it. She saw that he had brought its surgeon's emergency bag and that he wore his surgeon's coat. So here the word ebbing. So the meaning of this word is that when Hannah was frustrated one side by the answer by her maid, and she recklessly tried to clean the face of that prisoner. She was anger was ebbing. Ebbing यानी कि decreasing gradually. And she rose यानी कि stood up. Here chilled यानी कि freezy due to cold weather. So Hannah kept on cleaning the man's upper body as she had these thoughts, and she did not like the man as he was not a child anymore. She did not have the courage to turn him over. The thought of Sadao and her anger was decreasing, and she started becoming restless. She stood up and wiped her hands with the wrong towel as she did not want the man to freeze due to the cold weather. She put the quilt on him. Wrong towel by it means she used that towel by which she washed the face of the prisoner. Hannah called out to Sadao softly, and he had been on the door when she called him. He opened the door. Hannah saw that Sadao was crying. His carrying the surgeon's emergency bag and also wore that surgeon's coat, and he was prepared to operate the injured man. You have decided to operate? She cried. Yes, he said shortly. He turned his back to her and unfolded a sterilized towel upon the floor of the tokonoma Eklo and put his instrument out upon it. Fetch towels, he said. So here you can see that words meaning tokonoma यानी कि nick or an alcove in the Japanese home for displaying aim, flower arrangement or other pieces of art. So when Sadao was there, he used that sterilized यानी कि disinfected towel. As I told you that toko literally means the floor or bed, or ma means space and room. In our language, tokonoma is usually called alcove, and it is a part of room where things are displayed, like in a flower to display that flower arrangement or other pieces of art. So Hannah asked Sadao that he decided to operate the man, and Sadao replied that he had decided to operate him. There is no question now. He turned his back to Hannah, and as he did not want her to object to his decision, Sadao started his work, and he opened a sterilized towel in the floor of the tokonoma alcove and placed his surgical instrument on it. And he also said to Hannah that get some towels. She went obediently, but how anxious now, to the linen cells and took out the towels. There ought also to be old pieces of matting so that the blood would not ruin the fine floor covering. She went out to the back veranda where the gardener kept strips of matting with which to protect delicate scrubs on cold nights and took an armful of them. But when she went back into the room, she saw this was useless. The blood has already soaked through the packing in the man's wound and had ruined the mat under him. Oh, the mat, she cried. Yes, it's It is ruined, Sadao replied as though he did not care. Help me to turn him, he commanded her. So here, when that Hena went outside, he obeyed Sadao and went out to get the towels. She was curious as Sadao was operating upon the injured man. She thought that the blood from his wounds could stain the fine mats of their house. So she got some rough mat from the backyard which were used by the gardener to cover the delicate scrubs from the cold weather. But by the time Hannah reached his room, she saw that the blood had flowed through the bandage on the man's wound and had stained the mat beneath him. Her effort was futile. And oh, the mat, she cried. Yani she was very displeased with her husband that he completely ruined the mat. So on seeing this stained mat, Hina cried out that mat had been spoiled, but Sadao agreed that the mat had been ruined in such a manner, with indicating that he wasn't worried about it. She obeyed him without a word, and he began to wash the man's back carefully. Yumi would not wash him, she said. Did you wash him then? Sadao asked, not stopping for a moment his swift concern moments. Yes, she said. He did not seem to hear her, but she was used to his absorption when he was at work. She wondered for a while. So here what happened? When as an obedient one, Hena decided to help him, and she obeyed her husband, and then Sadao started washing his back. Here the word is consign, यानी कि CONCISE. You can see in your textbook is यानी कि sort. Hina told Sadao that Yumi had refused to wash the injured man, and Sadao asked her that did she wash, यानी कि Hina wash him. He did not stop cleaning him because as a doctor he was continue towards his work. He made fast small movements of his hands and cleaned with carefully. Then, here in the moment, it is a matter to him that what was the body upon which he worked so long, as it was for the work he did not excellently. So Hena wondered that Sadao was not bothered about who the injured man was. He only concerned in performing his work only. You will have to give the anesthetic if he needs it, he said. I, she repeatedly, blankly, but never have it. It is easy enough, he said impatiently. He was taking out of the packing now and the blood began to flow more quickly. He peered into the wound with the bright surgeon's light fastened on his forehead. The bullet is still there, he said with cool interest. Now I wonder how deep thick rock wound is. If it is not too deep, it may be that it can get the bullet, but the bleeding is not superficial. He has lost much blood. So anesthetic यानी कि sustain here whenever they say that anesthetic sustains that induce insensitively to pain, and here the word we have in the end of the para superficial यानी कि existing or occurring at or on the surface. So Sadao told Hena that she would have to inject the injured man with a substance that induces insensitivity to pain, like painkiller like. Hena replied that she had never done that earlier. Sadao encouraged her that it's too easy, don't worry, and she was also calm while answering to Hena. He looked at the wound with the help of the bright surgeon's light fixed on his forehead. Like you can see that जहाँ पे जो कैप पहनी है ऊपर कैप लाइक है वहाँ पे उसका एक टॉर्च फिक्स है. He announced that the bullet was inside the man's body still, and he wondered that how deep the wound made by the rock was. He said that if the wound was not very deep, then he could get the bullet out soon, and he added, Sadao added that the bleeding was not from the surface of the skin, which means that the wound was deep and the man had already lost a lot of blood before that prisoner met Sadao and Hannah. You can see that Sadao, Hannah, and that injured man. At this moment, Hannah choked. He looked up and saw her face the color of sulfur. Don't faint, he said sharply. He did not put down his explosive instrument. If I stop now, the man will surely die. She clapped her hands to her mouth and leaped up and ran out the room. Outside in the garden, he heard her retching, but he went on with his work. It will be better for her to empty her stomach, he thought. He had forgotten that, of course, he had never seen an operation. But her distress and his inability to go to her at once made him impatient and irritable with his men who lay like dead under his knife. So, what happened that her face, यानी कि Hannah's face was the color of sulfur. Sulfur is a yellow colored element, and the cause means that her face became pale yellowish in color. When Hannah saw Sadao inspecting the wound, she could not see the sight and so is coughed. Sadao looked at her and saw that her face was yellowish in color like the color of sulfur. And leaped यानी कि jumped and retching यानी कि vomiting. But Sadao reacted and ordered Hannah not to faint. He did not stop his work. If he worked, then that prisoner definitely die, and he could not right now control or concern towards Hannah, because Hannah had both her hands on her mouth and jumped up यानी कि outside and went in the garden, and he started vomiting. But Sadao was continues to his work. He thought that Sadao needed Hannah's help to operate the man, and he thought if she would empty her stomach and it's good, and she would not feel uneasy time of helping him. He was reminded that Hannah was seeing an operation for the first time, and definitely it's a normal reaction by her. Sadao was irritated and impatient as his wife was under stress and he was not able to help her. And that's why he also frustrated towards the man who lie under his knife, and he was just like a dead person. This man, he thought, यानी कि Sadao thought, there is no reason under heaven why he should live. Unconsciously, this thought made him ruthless, and he proceeded swiftly. In this dream, the man moaned, but Sadao paid no heed except to mutter at him. Groan, he muttered, groan if you like. I am not doing this for my own pleasure. In fact, I do not know why I am doing it. The door opened, and there was Hannah again. Where is the anesthetic? She asked in a clear voice. Sadao motioned with his chin, and it is as well that you came back, he said. This fellow is beginning to stir. She had the bottle and some cotton in her hand. But how shall I do it? She asked. Simply saturate the cotton and hold it near his nostrils. Sadao replied without delaying for a moment the intricate details of his work. When he breathes badly, move it away a little. So here, ruthless यानी कि harsh or merciless, moan यानी कि made a low soft voice due to pain, and paid no heed यानी कि no attention towards it. Now, Sadao thought that there was no reason for him to make efforts to save that man. Even he didn't know why he was saving him. Sadao became merciless and started working fast, and the injured man moaned in a state of unconsciousness due to pain. But Sadao kept on working without paying attention to the man's pain. Sadao said to the injured man that he was free to cry in pain. Sadao was not concerned that the man was in pain. He did not want to operate him and did not have any reason for doing so. But after all these efforts, suddenly Hannah came inside the room. So Hannah entered the room and asked Sadao for the anesthetic which she had to administer to the injured man. Her voice was clear now, and shows that now she was prepared to help him. Sadao moved his chain to guide her to the bottle of anesthetic, and she added that It was good that she came as the man had already started gain consciousness, and he was crying in pain. Hannah held a bottle and some cotton in her hands, and she asked what she was supposed to do. And Sadao told her that to put some anesthetic on the cotton and add to place the cotton near the man's nostril. He did not stop his delicate work and added that she should remove the cotton when the man started to breathe badly. She crouched close to the sleeping face of the young American. It was a piteously thin face, and she thought, and the lips were twisted. The man was suffering whether he knew it or not. Watching him, she wondered if the stories they heard sometimes of the suffering of prisoners were true. They came like flickers of rumor told by word of mouth and always contradicted. In the newspaper, the reports were always that whether the Japanese armies, when the people received from gladly with carries of joy at their liberation, but sometimes he remembered such men as General of Takima, who at home beat his wife cruelly, though no one mentioned it now that he had fought so victorious a battle in Manchuria. If a man like that could be cruel to a woman in his power, would he not be cruel to one like this, for instance? Now, while helping to that man, she has Aniki Hena has some different thinking. Let's see what she thought. Uh, Definitely, as a normal person, he was fearful of something. Cable यानी कि thief group slash यानी कि to reduce. Let's see. William tried to ward off the fear, but was able to get rid of it. Finally, the month of October, she was thought of something. And what was her thought? What happened when someone knew about their action? Then definitely there would be a time to be punished by their of Japan, because whenever they heard the news about that thing of that Japanese ruined that American army. That time, this felt like a festival-like situation, but the general or officer, same when he beat his wife, there is no news about it. But when he become a victorious in his war, everyone talk about it. So they thought that if the man who can beat his wife badly, what he could do with them. Just for instance, and just for example, she thought, she hoped anxiously that this young man had not been tortured. It was at this moment that she observed deep red scars on his neck just under the ear. While thinking during all this and helping to her husband, Hannah also thought about all this, how the man was tortured. Those scars, she murmured, lifting her eyes to Sadao. But he did not answer. At this moment, he felt the trip of his instrument strike against something hard dangerously. यानी कि whenever that Hannah asked about that spots on that injured man's body, the Sadao did not answer because he was busy. Scars यानी कि marks, he was busy towards his work which he was operating that time. He felt, यानी कि Sadao felt something hard near the kidney. All thought left him. He felt only the purest pleasure. He probed with his fingers delicately, familiar with every atom of his human body. His old American professor of anatomy, study or science of body, had seen to that knowledge. Ignorance of the human body is a surgeon's cardinal sin, sirs. He had thundered at his classes year after year to operate without and complete knowledge of the body, as if you had made it anything less than that is murder. So Sadao remembered his American professor's lecture that if you do not know about any human body and then you operate them, then you are just a murderer, because you can not play with a human's life. It is not quite at the kidney, my friend, Sadao murmured. It was his habit of murmur to the patient when he forgot himself in the operation. My friend, he always called his patient, and so now he did, forgetting that this was his enemy. So here that Sadao said that it is not quite an kidney, my friend. So here I think readers are confused with the word my friend. So here my friend is not for that person who lie under his knife or that instrument, but Sadao most of the time used word my friend for his patients while he was operating to them, because it's his habit. He was completely engaged with his operation only. He forget the things about outside. Then quickly, with the clearest and most precise of incisors, the bullet was out and the man quaked, but he was still unconscious. Nevertheless, he muttered a few English words. So finally, he, yani ki Sadao, got that bullet, and he was successful to remove it. And the man in inconscious sense also muttered few English words while he was in pain. He was unconscious, but still he can feel that pain. Guts, he muttered, choking. They got my guts. Sadao, Hena cried sharply. Whose? Sadao said. So guts, he muttered, choking. They got my guts. Here, this one is said by that Englishman. And Hena was so shocked and so frightened that she uttered her husband's name. The man sank again into the silence of so profound that Sadao took up his wrist, hatching the torch of it, and yes, there was still a pulse, so faint, so feeble, but enough if he wanted the man to live to give hope. After heard the words of Englishman, Sadao checked his wrist and hitting the torch of it, and Sadao said that yes, still a pulse, but so faint and feeble, yani ki weak the prisoner was, and if he wanted the man to live, to give hope. But certainly I do not want this man to live, he thought. Who? He, yani ki Sadao. No more anesthetic, he told Hena, it's enough. He turned as swiftly as though he had never paused, and from his medicines he chose a small vial and from it filled a hypodermic and thrust it into the patient's left arm. Then putting down the needle, he took the man's wrist again, and the pulse under his fingers fluttered once or twice and then grew stronger. So he did it to maintain the strength and the pulses of that prisoner. So he gave one medicine to them, and then finally the pulse at the normal rate. So students, this one is second part of our the enemy. The further and remaining lesson we'll discuss in the next part. Keep watching our channel, like us. Thank you.